Hey, welcome to your Leo horoscopes for the week ending August 5th. We still, of course, have that Venus retrograde going on. We got another month of that. So, unfortunately, that one's not going away anytime soon. We continue to have the sun in Leo as well. And things are lining up in good ways and bad ways. I'm not going to lie to you. Things are a little bit challenging, especially at the beginning of the week when Venus joins or is in an opposition with Saturn, as well as in a square with Uranus. Now, Venus is focused on your support system. It is a retrograde, so that does already seem to feel like you're not being supported at all. And then on top of it, we're going to put this opposition in here with Saturn. Saturn is also retrograde. Saturn is focused on those you love. And Saturn's a retrograde. There's a couple of things about Saturn's retrograde. First of all, when it's retrograde, it's showing you responsibilities that you're carrying that don't belong to you. Somebody else gave them to you, and you don't need to keep carrying them. It's also showing you what is your responsibility in this particular situation that's going on. So, for instance, when two people are not getting along with each other, if the other person is saying, well, I'm like this because of you, they're trying to hand you the responsibility of their BS, and you don't have to take that. However, if you're not getting along with another person because you're being stubborn and don't want to see their point of view, there's your responsibility is in that. So it's really always a good idea to just take a look at what is my responsibility in this problem and what isn't my responsibility, as honestly and truthfully as possible, to make it as easy as possible. By doing that, first of all, you're not being weighed down by a bunch of crap that doesn't belong to you. Second of all, you're also honestly looking at the improvements that you may need to make in order for this relationship to be successful, if that makes sense. Venus' square with Uranus is a challenge because Uranus is focused on finances. And anytime there's a problem with finances, we need money to survive. There is no way around that in the world that we live in. So when there's a financial challenge, it just seems to screw everything up, like completely. Like, let's just blow it up, okay? And that's annoying, and nobody wants to deal with that, right? But Uranus is all about, it's kind of a very rebellious nature. We're talking about looking at our finances in a completely different way, not the traditional way that we've been taught, not the way we've been looking at it up until this point, but really blowing it up to make it to create ideas that you would never think of before now, right? And while you're trying to create these financial plans, you have no support in that. Again, it always comes back to support, because that's what Venus is focused on right now, is your lack of support. But when it comes to your financial goals, you don't need support. You need to pay attention. You need to do whatever is necessary to make sure that these goals become a reality. If your parents disagree with you on that, that's neither here nor there. They have the right to their opinion, annoying or wrong as it may be. They still have the right to their opinion, and they can keep their opinion. They can keep it all day long. It doesn't mean that you change your plans. This happens a lot with people. A lot. Well, I was going to do this fantastic thing, but then my mom was just not supportive. So I was just so upset that I didn't do it. And I get it. I've been there. I get it. Guess what? It didn't do me any good any more than it's probably doing you any good. The point is that I grew up with two parents that weren't very supportive myself. I love them both. They had their good points and their bad points, but they're human beings just like everybody else. So they're always going to come in and go, well, I don't know if that's such a good idea. That kind of seems like a little airy fairy, if you know what I mean. If I had let them and their opinions stop me, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, and I would not be continuing to move forward. This is the lesson. You do it because this is what you need to do for you, not because people agree with what you're doing. The sun is also creating some challenges in terms of its opposition with Pluto at the beginning of the week. By the end of the week, this is over and done with, and we're not talking about it anymore, which is good. And this is going to create a little bit of a challenge when your focus is on your career and making that money. But there are specific things going on at home or in your environment or what have you that are sort of taking up the focus that should be on making that money. So I kind of look at this in this way. First of all, the example that always comes to me with this is parents with children at home that have to work. So when you're at work, you're worried about your kids at home. When you're at home, you're worried about what's going to happen at work. You're never present when you need to be. And this really is the bottom line with this opposition, is to be present in the moment. Deal with home at home when you're at home. Deal with work at work. If you're switching that, all you're doing is confusing yourself and killing your motivation, which you do not want to do. And the sun square with Jupiter is a little bit of a challenge as well, because Jupiter is really focused on the growth and expansion of your relationships, but you got so much work to do. You don't have time for your relationships. That's okay. It's only happening this week. Okay. It is over next week. So maybe this week, what you need to do is shut the door, lock it, hermitize yourself, because the hermit always becomes a hermit for self growth and learning. So sometimes you need that time to just cut everybody out and go, look, I need to deal with me for a minute. You guys deal with your own stuff and let me deal with my stuff, if that makes sense. Now, the good news is there good news? I'm looking to see if there is good news, and there is good news actually as we get towards the end of the week and the sun moves into a trine with the moon right at the end of the week, opening up space in your schedule to really shine in your career. So you're actually seeing parts of your schedule that have been available, and you just didn't realize that they were available times. Maybe this is a time where you normally take a nap every day, or you normally play golf every day. But this is just tweaking your schedule a little bit. It's not giving up the golf or the naps, but it is tweaking your schedule a little bit to make sure that you add some success in there just on that one day, right? You may have to give up something that you love, but you're not giving it up forever, right? This is one of those situations where it feels like if you miss this opportunity, you'll probably kick yourself in the butt later, and you don't want to have to go through that. So yes, it's a little bit of a sticky week for you guys this week, but it's not as sticky as it could be. We'll just put it that way, okay? It could be way worse, all right? So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do click the link below in the description. Send me a coffee and appreciation. I would love that. And you guys, make it a great week. Doesn't matter what you're being given, just make it a great week like I know you guys can. You're Leos. And I will see you next week. Make it a good one, everybody.